Hello, everybody. This is Mayor Mike, and I'm sitting at 740 Main Street, affectionately known as East Hartford Town Hall. And this is Ask the Mayor. That's where you write in questions. We take them down, we find the answers, and then on Wednesday, we put the feedback on social media so you have answers to those questions. We did receive 3 questions this week. They were somewhat unique and specific to the individuals who asked the questions, and we've provided those answers directly back to them via email. So I want to take this opportunity to move Ask the Mayor in a different direction for at least today's meeting. Item number 1, there'll be a whole set of items that I'd like to run through that I think you'll all find of interest. And it's really news and notes about what's going on around East Hartford. So the first one has everything to do with last week. If you are a resident of East Hartford, and if you're seeing this, you highly likely that you are, you may know that trash collection differed this year on Indigenous People Day, formerly Columbus Day, than it did any other year. That's because we moved our trash collection in a 3-step process out to a private company called All Waste in South Windsor. Long story short, All Waste celebrates 6 holidays, where the town of East Hartford Public Works Department celebrates 13. So this was one of those days that you normally would not have put out your trash in prior years, but this particular year you did need to put out your trash. What we found out in somewhat of a horrifying way was that there are way too many people who are not connected to their town government. A lot of these people were extremely angry. I took a number of calls myself. The staff in my office took a number of calls, and you wouldn't believe the passion that people equate with the collection of their weekly trash. That being said, I want to reaffirm that our goal is to always be transparent and communicate with you. And in this particular case, we used over a dozen local media sources. That included the East Hartford Gazette, which should come to everybody free, or is at least in the various grocery stores and kiosks and bodegas around town. The Journal-Enquirer was sent a press release. The Hartford Courant was sent a press release. We do social media a number of times, not just once. We do the Channel 5 website. And Chuck Quick, who runs the Channel 5 website, and when I say website, that's on demand. So anybody who has an internet connection can watch it if they don't watch it on cable access. But Chuck also does a brief news and notes where he clips certain sniglets and then he replays those on his running billboard so that you'll always know if trash is delayed or it is not delayed. We actually handed out calendars if you were at the Public Works garage where you drop off your bulky waste for leaves or whatever. Over the last year, you would have received that. And additionally, there were newspaper articles that we had switched. In any case, approximately 30% of the people, unscientific guesstimate, missed this information, and that was based on the number of calls that we had. So that being said, if in doubt, roll it out. And when I say that, it's related to your recycling and your trash collection. Please, moving forward, don't assume that there'll be 13 holidays. And I think last week was a good indicator that the message is getting out and people will be a little bit more in tune to the media. I can only get out so much information, and there is no one way that we've found out that reaches everybody. We even have the Pulse, which is a newsletter available in 100 different languages. So again, everybody that I read and candidly responded to on social media was extremely angry that the town was not able to reach them. But it's a two-way street. I need you to help me to help you get the information that's vital to you, at least with respect to trash collection. That being said, we do have a solution for it, and it's called East Hartford Alert. And on the website, and we've pushed this out through social media, we've pushed it out in a variety of different ways. But if you go on to the website, you can sign up for 2 types of alerts. The first type is emergency. And candidly, those are going to come if there was an incoming tornado, if there was a hurricane strike, if there was a very bad weather emergency or other hazmat. We have access to 23,000 we'll call it white page, yellow page, and otherwise FCC related telephone numbers, and we can actively put out information to you. However, that is only on an emergency basis. So while we can grab a whole lot of numbers, we can't grab and use those same numbers to simply say your trash collection day is not delayed for one day. So that being said, I need everybody to go onto the website, and I need you to opt in to non-emergency messaging. As of the date that we started to receive our first calls last week, we have 560 people opting in for that information, where we will send you a phone message to remind you of certain non-emergency things. So again, it's a constant learning exercise here in Town Hall and the Mayor's office. We certainly did not hit the ground running on Monday to screw up everybody's trash collection, but it was pertinent information that we got out on over a dozen different media sites. But based on the response via social media, we did not get everybody. So apologies from me, lesson well learned, but I still don't know how we're going to be able to reach out to everybody. Some people suggested that we put it as a broadcast on Channel 3 because that's what they watch. Unfortunately, Channel 3 is not going to broadcast a unique East Hartford message related to trash collection. Another individual said, well, seniors don't use social media, you should send out a postcard. Well, postcards are about $10,000 between the ability to print them, to the ability to postage, put the postage on them, and the labor to do it. And the problem is they go at a different rate, so the post office won't guarantee them like they will instant delivery for first class mail. So we have a host of options, and then when we do put a postcard out, if we're nimble enough to do it, then the people say, why aren't you using digital media? You should not be, wasting our trees. So we're in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. By all means, feel free to recommend ways that you can be communicated with from the town. But in the meantime, we have many, many ways. You just have to figure out which one is more, accessible for you. That being said, on a sadder note, funeral services for the 2 Bristol police officers that were killed in the line of duty last week will be this Friday at 11 a.m. at Rentschler Field. There will be street closings around Silver Lane, around Robert Street, coming off the highway, Simmons Road. We're expecting as many as 25,000 people, and there's even a small outside chance that the number reaches 50,000. This is a very, very sad day for the Bristol force, for the families of the fallen officers, for the East Hartford community, and for the state of Connecticut in general. So that being said, I also want the community to know that our police department did ride-alongs with the Bristol Police Department on Sunday as the officers from the regular shifts were getting back to their normal duties. To have another officer from a different community really support them was important, and also it allows the officers to really have somebody, a peer-to-peer, to speak to about their concerns related to what happened in the prior week. So our hearts and prayers go out to, as I said, the officers' families, the Bristol Police Department, our own East Hartford Police Department, and anybody involved in law enforcement or first responders here in the state of Connecticut. That being said, some more information. East Hartford Interfaith Ministries, which was an umbrella organization to a number of faith-based organizations within the community, is dissolving, and that's as of December 31st, 2022. And why that is important is the soup kitchen, called the Friendship Soup Kitchen, is no longer going to prepare meals for the handful, about 40 people, on the days that they were open. So that's concerning. Therefore, the town of East Hartford is looking for volunteers, not explicitly to run the soup kitchen, but to have an army of individuals that at a moment's notice we can send them to a crisis, if you will. And a lot of people would consider the soup kitchen closing a bit of a crisis. So I'm not sure, as we sit here in the middle of October, if we're going to be able to continue the soup kitchen on, but I do know we want anybody who has a volunteer bone in their body to contact the mayor's office. And you could do that by using email, phone, or Kate, if she has not already, in my office who handles social media will be doing a quick questionnaire to capture your name, your address, and both cell phone, home phone, or email contacts. That'll take us several months to gather up, but the goal is to have 100 ready volunteer members, and when that's done, we'll reach out to you. Finally, I want to basically walk through very quickly a host of news and notes that you may find interesting. The first one is town alerts that we talked about. Please sign up for town alerts, get better information from your community. The next one is trunk or treat. During COVID, an alternative to going door to door was to drive your car through Rentschler Field, and a number of businesses from town, sponsored by both Raytheon and Trunk or Treat, and the Connecticut River Chamber of Commerce at Pratt & Whitney. This will be Sunday, October 30th from 12 to 3. And you do need to pre-register. And to pre-register, you need to go to www.ehparks.org. So if you have any children, you can dress them up, put them in the car, open your trunk, drive through slowly, and there'll be folks that'll be dropping treats into your trunk, as well as being dressed up themselves. So it's a great event, and I encourage everybody to pre-register and be there. Leaf collection program begins on October 31st for the 2022 year. And I've already seen the postings. It's too early, the leaves aren't down. This is simple math. We have 151 miles of roads to cover, and there will be leaves down. It may not be all of the leaves, but we have to start somewhere, and we have to start soon, because we only have a 6-week window to collect all the leaves. So yes, we will make our way through town fairly quickly, and we will be starting the vacuuming on Pitkin Street, proceeding north and east up to Burnham and Goodwin. The only 2 days we won't work for the next 6 weeks are Veterans Day, November 11th, and Thanksgiving Day, November 24th. Going back to my simple math, this is a 6-week process, weather permitting, that has to happen. So allow us to start. We will do the best we can to endeavor to pick up your leaves. Please cooperate with us. Look for the leaf signs that we will be posting on the tree belts to let you know when we're going to be in the area. There's an interactive leaf map on the Public Works website, and that is not, it's instructive, it's not precise, because we are hamstrung by volume and by weather. So that being said, there's also a couple of different ways if you don't want to rake your leaves to the curb. You can brown bag them for 6 weeks, put them out on the same day that we pick up your trash. In-town crews will pick them up, or you can transport them free to the transfer station. I would remind you that leaves in plastic bags will not be accepted. On to other announcements. East Hartford Parks and Rec basketball registration is now open for the 2023 season. That is kindergarten through 8th grade. Again, www.ehparks.org to register for that. Item number 9, MDC Hazardous Waste Collection Day, 65 Pitkin Street. That's the MDC site. That is Saturday, October 29th from 8 to 1. I won't go into the list here, but there's a large list of things they accept: acids, adhesives, antifreeze, batteries, brake fluid, and so forth. So go out to either the MDC website or the Town of East Hartford website, see what it is they take, and if you have that in your house and you want to get rid of it, by all means, that only comes infrequently. This is one of the times. Next item, general election information. For those of you who may not get social media or a variety of other sources, as you told me, related to the trash collection issue, Tuesday, November 8th, 2022, from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., we have a vote, and that is for the governor and the state representatives and basically a whole lot of state offices, and I believe both Register of Voters and Judge of Probate is on. Tip O'Neill, he was a Democrat from Massachusetts many, many years ago, said all politics is local. Your vote is extremely important, and it will guide local government. If you don't come out and vote, you get guys like me who become mayor, and that's always problematic. That being said, in the event you are not, the deadline to register is November 1st, 2022, And if you choose to do Election Day registration, that is at the Town Council Chambers at Town Hall, 740 Main Street. That's on Tuesday, November 8th from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. So again, if you're registered or you're not registered, register by November 1st. Do it in your district. If for some reason you are not registered and you don't register by November 1st, show up to Town Hall for Election Day registration, something called EDR. East Hartford has also pushed out an East Hartford Affordable Housing Plan. And what affordable housing is it means your housing costs less than 30% of the income of a household earning 80% of the area's median income. And in East Hartford, we have lower median incomes, so our affordable housing is generally lower. That being said, we're pushing out the survey in accordance with Connecticut General Statutes. So if that comes to you via social media, or if you want to take your survey on the web, by all means, that will help us develop a affordable housing plan moving forward. I want to remind everybody that the East Hartford Health Department offers flu and COVID-19 booster clinics, and there will be a drive-through flu clinic conducted from 11 to 2 at 90 Remington Road. That's the former North End Senior Center. That'll be Saturday, November 5th, 2022, or at the Senior Center located at 15 Millbrook Drive from 1 to 4, and that will be on Thursday, November 10th. By all means, if you have any questions or these aren't available to you, we'll have others. Call our East Hartford Health Department, and that number is 860-291-7324, option 1. Finally, we'll talk about East Hartford Works invites you to a living room conversation. In a living room conversation about does your vote matter? And that conversation is going to happen on October 24th from 6 to 7 at the East Hartford Library, 840 Main Street, lower level. Entrance is through the back door by the parking lot. And in a shout out to Mark Weinberg, dinner will be provided. Next item, wreath laying ceremony to be held at the Veterans Day at the East Hartford Public Library. Veterans Day is November 11th, which I believe is a Friday. At 10:30 a.m., there will be a wreath laying ceremony, and that is, it will bring the representatives from the East Hartford Rochambeau Elms, VFW Post 2083, the Historical Society, and the members of the East Hartford Library. A wreath donated by ShopRite will be laid at the foot of the monument. And the program will include the tolling of the bell at the First Congregation Church. So again, for all our veterans who give so much to their country and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, this is an opportunity for the community to honor them. So come and join me at the East Hartford Raymond Library. Last few announcements, and you could see there were a considerable number. East Hartford Police and the Health Department announced the Drug Enforcement Agency's 22nd Take-Back Day, and that is on Saturday, October 29th from 10 to 2 at the East Hartford Public Safety Complex. Don't let medicines that you no longer use or are expired, don't flush them down the toilet, don't rinse them down the sink. Bring them to the DEA Take-Back Day here at the Public Safety Complex. We will dispose of them properly, and we won't foul the waterways or risk the idea that some of the drugs get into the wrong hands. Goodwin University is having we'll call it a gathering, Thursday, October 27th, 2022, 12 to 1 p.m. That's the Goodwin University Auditorium, 1 Riverside Drive. And it's Aging with Purpose, and it's the power of resiliency in healthy aging. And Dr. Doe Henschel, Director of Leadership of Greater Hartford's Third Age Initiative, will speak. So it looks pretty amazing. If I have the opportunity, I will stop by. And last but not least, and this is like our 17th piece of information that we're passing along, hence why you need to be on East Hartford Alerts, why you need to enroll in the Pulse. East Hartford Social Services announces signups for the Holiday Food Basket and Children's Gift Program. Now, I will tell you that, we're pleased to announce it for both Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that's for families with minor children, and they will also include a holiday toy gift card for children's 10 years of age and younger. There's a link, so you want to go on to social services. And there's a link because we need a photo ID to prove you're a town applicant. We need to ask you what your household income is, and you need a current sheet from DSS for those that may receive cash assistance. So it's a little more complicated than just saying, hey, I want a Thanksgiving or Christmas basket. These are the controls in place to make sure that your tax dollars are really invested in the things that will make our community a special place to be for the holidays for those that are less fortunate. And those are the controls we go through to make sure your gift gets into the right hands without any issue one way or the other. So that being said, I've produced a lot of information. Again, want to reiterate that this is normal. This is a week's worth of information, sometimes two, and I want you to have it. And the only way you can have it is if you, one, engage with the town proactively through social media, through the website, or give us your contact information so for non-emergency alerts, we can reach out to you. This is Mike Walsh. Hope you're having a great week. Hope next week's even better. I'm the mayor for the town of East Hartford. It's a pretty good job most days, except when you missed trash collection on one day last week. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure, and thanks, and have a great weekend.